Yeah, this is a good example of the cultural differences that go on in discourse about our use of our fellow animals. For example, vegans, when they use the word abuse and cruelty, they tend to use dictionary versions, whereas the farmers and the RSPCA and the humane societies, they use the cultural understanding of those words. And the cultural understanding is a mile away from the way that the vegans or the dictionary puts it, because that's about not kicking dogs and throwing cats into dustbins and being absolutely really, really cruel to our fellow animals, even on farms. So, standard agricultural practices, as they see it, are not cruel and are not abusive. And that's why they're reacting. I mean, obviously, this is quite a childish way of doing it, but this is why they react to the word abuse from vegans, because we're kind of talking at cross purposes. There's a lot of cultural work that would have to be done for a speciesist to see these words the way that vegans do. And just calling them those names, like an abuser or you're cruel, I don't really think does it. Quite apart from the fact that that's not the language that we want to use anyway, we want to move them on to an animal rights understanding of our use of our fellow animals rather than a welfare understanding, which they already know. They're very well versed with the welfare understanding. But even the vegan welfare understanding is not the same anymore. So it's quite a bizarre thing. But if vegans want to talk to those they regard as animal abusers, they've got to understand first and foremost that they're not using those words the same as the people they're talking to, but they're having this conversation within the welfare paradigm. I tend to think it's just better to move away from that completely and start talking about animal rights, because we're supposed to be animal rights advocates. So let's talk about animal rights and rights violations and the reasons why other animals are rights holders, for example, right? We don't need to get involved with the welfare language, especially now it's complicated by the fact that we're not even using the welfare words like abuse and cruelty in the same way as those who use our fellow animals do.